So you are thinking about moving to the North Dallas area, but you've ruled it out because of the rising home prices. This might just change your mind. Right now, builders in the North Dallas, North Fort Worth area are offering incentives that I haven't seen in quite some time, and this could save you thousands. Hey y'all, I'm Jennifer Fowler with Fowler Realty Team here in the North Dallas, North Fort Worth area. Welcome back to North Dallas, Texas Living. So if you are thinking about moving to the North Texas area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or maybe you're already here and you're thinking about a move, then this video is for you. I'm going to break down why now might be the best time to buy new construction, especially in places like Denton, Flower Mound, Argyle, Northlake, and Justin. So a little bit more on the North Fort Worth side of Dallas-Fort Worth, otherwise known as DFW. So let's start with first things first. Prices have dropped. Was there a bubble or a crash? No. We haven't gotten there, and so far I haven't found one expert anywhere that I've talked to or online that says that's going to happen. But prices have come down as they should have. So what we're seeing with a lot of new construction neighborhoods are what we call hot homes, or they're also called spec homes or inventory homes. So these are homes that the builders are just building. They don't have a buyer for them yet. So what we find a lot of times is that these houses after some time that they've been sitting, or maybe they're still in the construction phase, but they still don't have a buyer yet. What we're seeing is the builder dropping those prices $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And we're talking about homes roughly from $350,000 to $500,000 or $600,000. So we are seeing some price drops on these homes. I call them hot homes. Now, in these situations, everything's already been picked out. The color is already done, the cabinet color, the paint, everything's already done. But we are seeing some good price drops on these hot homes. And a lot of times the builder has already put some upgrades in the house. So yes, you're getting a house with some upgrades, maybe like some light fixtures or gutters. Believe it or not all builders put gutters on houses. Maybe an epoxy garage floor, maybe some window treatments or something. But we are seeing houses, even with upgrades, that have reduced prices. So I have a client that is from California, and she was looking to move to the Northlake area, which is north of Fort Worth. And that house was listed for $525,000, and we were able to get it for $485,000 with incentives as well. And that leads me to the next reason why now might be a good time to purchase new construction, and that is going to be what we call incentives. So you have two kinds of incentives. You have incentives that are from the builder and incentives that are from the lender. Yes, most of the time you are going to have to use their preferred lender in order to get lender incentives, which just makes sense. If they're going to offer it to you, they're going to want you to use their lender. That happens all the time. So we have builder incentives. Right now, we're seeing in some areas, in some neighborhoods, and with some builders, I know D.R. Horton is one of them, they're offering up to, now this is going to be in different areas, but a couple of the neighborhoods that I know of here in the North Texas area, they're offering up to $30,000 flex cash. That can be used to come off the price of the house for a washer, dryer, refrigerator, gutters, blinds, epoxy garage floor, things like that. So those would be the builder incentives. We're seeing in homes like Highland Homes, or maybe like David Weekley Homes, builders where you go to a design center, we're seeing them offer up to $20,000, $40,000 in design incentives. So it's money you get to spend at the design center, because remember, whenever you get to add in designs in your home where you get to pick out the paint color, the tile, that usually raises the cost, because once you get to that design center, you're always going to want something that's more costly than standard. So they're offering those kinds of incentives. Those are builder incentives, and we are seeing that everywhere. Then you have your lender incentives. And what we're seeing with that is a couple of things. I know right now D.R. Horton is offering $10,000 toward your closing costs. Look, if that home price is $400,000, that pretty much pays for all your closing costs, because closing costs are roughly 2 to 2.5% of the sales price. So you've got your down payment, which is anywhere from 3.5% to 5%. course, you can put down more if you want to, but that's all that's required depending on your loan type is 3.5% or 5%. And that could be all that's needed in order to buy a home, because the down payment must come from you. You can't borrow that. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of incentives. We had a couple buy a house here in Denton. The house was around $350,000, new construction home, and they were able to have all of their closing costs paid for, plus they were able to get things like the washer, dryer, refrigerator, and blinds. And this also comes from the lender. They got an interest rate at 4.75, not for 1 year, 2 years, or even 3 years, but a 30-year fixed interest rate under 5%. That is a huge savings on their monthly mortgage. And a lot of times what we're finding is if you qualify for a home that's $350,000, yes, you can buy a brand new home in the North Dallas, North Fort Worth area for $350,000 or $400,000. What we're seeing is because of the lower rates, it actually now bumps you up. So now maybe you qualify for $450,000 or $425,000. And there's a difference between a house that's $350,000 and $450,000 or $350,000 and $425,000. So we are seeing that happen. It has happened. I have had a couple of clients now get fixed rates below 5%. Of course, all of that's going to be subject to qualification, but I think y'all already know that. And every builder is going to be different in what they're offering. Okay, this one might surprise you. Another benefit that we're seeing is lower homeowners insurance. Y'all, homeowners insurance in Texas has gotten out of control. We do have hail, so we have windstorms and we have hail, and so, a roof may have to be replaced. To be honest with you, in my 30 years of homeownership, I've had one roof replaced, one. So, it doesn't happen all the time, but obviously it happens. And I keep thinking, gosh, a roof is not that costly compared to an entire house in California from a fire, or in Houston or Florida from a hurricane. But I think that we're having to pay a little bit of the price for what's going on in other areas. But anyway, homeowners insurance, it's definitely gotten pretty high here in Texas. So a benefit to new construction is a pretty low rate, monthly, yearly rate. In fact, I know someone that just got into a new construction home. Their homeowners insurance was $80 a month. Y'all, that is pre-2020 prices right there. That is unbelievable. But you're buying a brand new home, so there is less risk for the insurance company. It's a brand new roof already. We know the plumbing is good, even though plumbing is usually not covered, but it's less risk. And so that, once again, lower homeowners insurance can also bump people up for what they qualify for. We have seen that happen as well. So that is another benefit of new construction. All right, so another benefit of a new construction home is their warranties. Oftentimes, builders are going to offer what's called a 1 to 10 warranties. 1 year would cover pretty much everything, even cosmetic issues. Now, if you are scratching up your walls, that's not going to be covered, but things like maybe caulking, even a loose door handle. So 1 year for most builders, it covers quite a bit. And then year 2, you're going to have your mechanical systems. And then at year 10, or from years 2 through 10, that's going to cover your foundation. So you've got warranties there. So once again, the insurance company is looking at that, knowing that you possibly have a pretty good warranty on your house. So that is another good benefit of buying new construction. Now, if you do buy a pre-owned home, I always ask the seller to pay for a 1 year warranty for my buyers. And that's going to cover things like the dishwasher, HVAC, water heater, sometimes maybe part of the roof. It depends on the company. There are dozens of them, but sometimes those warranties don't want to cover something. There's some fine print there, so you have to be really careful. But with new construction, you're going to get more than likely the 1 to 10 home warranty. So if you've been waiting for rates to drop or prices to fall, this is your sign, because this is where prices have dropped and this is where rates have dropped as well. And I am not that person who I don't like the phrase, is it marry the house and date the rate? You won't hear me say that, because you need to be comfortable with your mortgage payment for several years, because we don't know if rates will ever drop. And if they do drop, are they going to drop enough for you to be able to refinance? Are you going to be able to qualify to refinance? Because in order to refinance, you still have to qualify. You can't buy a house and then go out and buy a couple new cars and a boat and expect to refinance. But what I will say is you have one opportunity to lock in a home price. One. and that's today. And we are seeing these new construction home prices dropping. There are a lot of new construction choices out here in the North Texas area. So if you are curious about more, if you're curious about what builders are offering what in what neighborhoods, because it does sometimes depend on the neighborhood. So if you've been waiting for rates to drop or prices to fall, this might be your sign. Builders are doing what they can to make home ownership affordable again. And you can absolutely take advantage of that with the right strategy. So if you're curious about what builders are offering what and in what areas or neighborhoods, because that is going to depend from builder to builder and from neighborhood to neighborhood here in the North Dallas, North Fort Worth area, you can shoot me a text. My information is in the description below. I'd love to chat with you on Zoom for just a discovery call. Absolutely no obligation at all, just to see, hey, where are you in your journey of moving here to the North Dallas, North Fort Worth area? And is it doable now if you consider new construction? So make sure you give me a call. You can shoot me a text, send me an email. There's so much information below on how you can contact me. But look, we've got a lot of videos about living in the North Texas area. So make sure you go back, take a look at those. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you do that so you can be the first to know everything there is to know about what's going on in North Texas. And I'll see you on the next one.